Hi everybody, and welcome to Wednesday's lesson. Today for our trip around the world, we are going to Egypt. Egypt is a country in northern Africa, and we're going to be learning all about it today and about the Egyptian pyramids. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to explore Egypt and the Great Pyramids of Giza. So we're going to start by exploring all of Egypt as a country, and then we're going to read more about the Great Pyramids that are in Egypt. Let's go ahead and get going. This book is called Let's Explore Egypt by L. Parks. Let's explore Egypt. Our table of contents. We're going to start with a visit to Egypt, a map of Egypt. There's a picture glossary, a section where you can read more, and an index. A visit to Egypt. Egypt is a country. It is in Africa. Many people live in Egypt. And there are all different sorts of places in Egypt. This is one picture of a city in Egypt, a big bustling city. Egypt has big deserts. It is next to the sea. The Nile River is in Egypt. So Egypt has big cities like we saw on the last page, and it also has really vast, big deserts. It's next to the sea in northern Africa. Most people live by the Nile. Some people farm. The Nile River is good for farmers. Why do you think the Nile River is good for farmers? There are a lot of reasons why the Nile River could be good for farmers, but the main one I can think of is because farmers need to use water in their farming. So being by the Nile River gives them a good source of water for their farming. It's called irrigation, where they get their water to the crops that need it. They might also need water for their livestock, like cows or sheep or donkeys, and so they'll need water to take care of them as well as all of the crops they're growing. Camels live in Egypt. They live in the desert. What other animals do you think live in Egypt's deserts? What animals do you think live in Egypt's deserts? Use your imagination. There are lots of different animals that could live in Egypt's deserts. There are certain types of foxes that live in the desert in Egypt, certain types of gazelles that live in the desert in Egypt. Jackals could live in the desert in Egypt. Rodents live in the desert in Egypt. Camels have humps on their backs. Some people ride camels. Falafel is a popular food in Egypt. It is made of beans. The beans are made into balls and fried. Have any of you ever had falafel before? I have, and it is delicious. Egypt has a long history. The pyramids are old. They were built thousands of years ago. How do you think the Egyptians built the pyramids? I'm not going to give you an answer to that right now because next we're going to read more about the pyramids and how they were potentially built, but I just want you to think about that right now. Look at these huge pyramids and think, how did the Egyptians build them? Egyptians started playing marbles a long time ago. They used one marble to knock other ones out. Egyptians still play marbles today. Egypt is a beautiful country. There are many things to see. Would you like to go to Egypt? Here's a map of Egypt. Egypt is the country in red in northern Africa, and it's surrounded by water on two sides. The Nile River starts in the north of Egypt, and it runs all the way through Egypt. The pyramids are in the northern part of Egypt. And here is our picture glossary. We have camels. They're mammals that have humps and can go long periods without water. Deserts are dry places that get little rain. Falafel is food made of crushed beans that are shaped into balls and fried. And pyramids, ancient stone monuments that have triangle-shaped sides. And that's the end of our book. Next, we're going to learn more about Egypt's Great Pyramids. Now that we learned some about Egypt and the pyramids, we're going to read a book all about the Great Pyramids in Egypt. It's called The Great Pyramid Mystery by Amy Tao, art by PreK Guyard. Now that we learned some about Egypt and the Great Pyramids, we're going to read more just about the pyramids in this book. It's called The Great Pyramid Mystery by Amy Tao. In this book, we're going to try and answer the question, how did the ancient Egyptians build the Great Pyramids? The Great Pyramid of Egypt was built more than 4,500 years ago. Nearly 500 feet high, it's taller than a 40-story skyscraper. For more than 4,000 years, it held the record for the world's tallest structure. Now, thousands of buildings stand even higher, but they were built with machines powered by engines and electricity. The ancient Egyptians didn't have those. The Great Pyramid is the oldest and largest of the giant pyramids found in Giza, Egypt. How did they cut and move more than 2 million giant stone blocks? Most of the blocks weigh more than 2 tons, as much as a small car. Some weigh more than 50 tons. How did workers lift them so high and stack them in just the right place? Scientists and historians have lots of ideas, but no one knows for sure. Everyone agrees, however, that it took a lot of hard work and a few simple machines. The Great Pyramid is taller than the Statue of Liberty. Up here we have a chart that says how tall, and it's comparing different structures in the world. We have the Leaning Tower of Pisa, the Statue of Liberty, Big Ben, the Great Pyramid, and then the Eiffel Tower. The Great Pyramid is taller than the Leaning Tower of Pisa that's in Italy, the Statue of Liberty in the US, and the Big Ben, which is in London. To cut and shape the pyramid's huge, heavy blocks, workers used sharp wedges, including copper chisels and axes, and hard stone tools. Most of the blocks were carved from nearby stone quarries or pits, but some had to travel hundreds of miles. Do you think that sounds like hard work to cut big stone blocks by hand? Yeah, I think that sounds extremely hard. They didn't have any machines. They had to use sharp and heavy tools to cut all these stone blocks by hand. The ancient Egyptians did not have wheels and axles when they built the Great Pyramid. Wheels would not have rolled well across the sandy, rocky ground anyway. Workers probably used levers to move the blocks onto wooden sleds. You can see in the picture, these wooden sleds almost look like the kind of sled you would use in the snow. Because if you have a really slippery, sandy surface, like at the beach, wheels don't really roll well through that sandy surface. So you need something that can slide on top of the sand, like a sled. The sleds could be pushed or pulled onto boats to travel long distances. Some experts think workers dug canals, which are like little passageways for water, little roads for water, to get boats as close to the pyramid as possible. To go over land, teams of workers might have dragged the sleds. Some researchers think the workers used rollers under the sleds. Others think they poured water or oil on the ground to make it more slippery. Most people think the Egyptians built ramps to help workers move the blocks up the pyramid, but no one agrees what type. It's all still a mystery. Now that the first part of the lesson is over, I want you to go ahead and watch the video I have linked. It's a National Geographic Kids video where they go on a tour through the Egyptian pyramids. I wasn't able to put it into this video format with the lesson, so please go ahead and follow that link and watch the tour of the Egyptian pyramids. And then after that, I have a drawing activity for you. So we talked about the pyramids and we read the book about the mystery of how the pyramids were built. So I want you guys to use your imagination and draw a picture of how you think the Egyptian pyramids were built. I have a worksheet for you, and I want you to draw however you think they did it. Just draw a picture of how you think the pyramids were built. Have fun with that. That's all I have for today's lesson, so I'll see you guys all again tomorrow. Bye!